Welcome to Sports Talk and More, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alex Tillery, aka Coach Till. And before we get started, I got the really bro moment of the day. And my really bro moment of the day is, if the NBA resumes, the Boston Celtics will win the NBA Finals. Yes, I said it here. The Boston Celtics will win the NBA Finals. That's my really bro moment. Now that we got that out the way, I'd like to welcome my special guest I have with me today. This my homie. I mean, me and him go way back, like, 3 years now? You know what I mean? But this is one of the realest dudes I know. Very passionate about what he stands for. I mean, when he put his heart into something, it's in there. I mean, one of the, just all around good dude, man. I want to introduce y'all to my boy, Antonie Miller. Give it up for him.
I appreciate the intro, brother. That was amazing.
You know, a little something.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling.
So, like I said, it's my homie right here. I know who he is, but I want him to tell y'all a little bit about himself. Like, where you from, man?
I was born in Philadelphia, actually, but I moved over to Camden when I was about 1 or 2. And just been born and raised in Camden ever since. You know, everybody knows from around the globe, it's actually not as bad as people portray it to be. You know, that's another story, but it is rough though. It is rugged. I say that it is rugged, and it is certain pockets of it where it's survival. You know, so it's up to you how you learn from that type of dynamic. You can go north or south really easily. You know, fortunately, I had a good foundation around me where I use Camden for the benefits in order to, become a better person. You know, so I love Camden. I love Camden, and that's where I'm from. So
that's what's
I want
up.
to change it for the world.
That's what's up. So, did you play high school ball or college ball?
Yeah. So it's funny. I played for Camden High School. Actually started varsity in my sophomore year, which isn't the easiest thing to do with a rich tradition at Camden High. So my high school was actually kind of rocky. At the time, I didn't understand that it was a blessing in disguise. So real quick, my high school career was quick, actually. I started, I can laugh about it now, but at the time, it wasn't sweet. So I started my sophomore year under Glenn Jackson right after Camden High won the Tournament of Champions in New Jersey. And anybody knows winning the Tournament of Champions in New Jersey as a public school is damn near impossible to do, right? But we also had the Juan Wagner, so that kind of evens it out. But I started the year after that, right? My junior and senior year, Clarence Turner came back. Rest in peace, Clarence Turner. He came back to coach, and this guy told me flat out, because I was never athletic. Like, I never dunked a basketball in my life, but I was really smart, and I really understood the game. He didn't care about that. He wants the best athletes on the earth, and he wants football players. You know, that's who we want to go to battle with. He told me that. He said, "You're not athletic, so you're not getting on my court." Right? And there's a whole lot of other things that happened in between that. Like, they made it hard for me to transfer and things like that. But whatever the case may be, that was my high school career in a nutshell. I played my sophomore year. I never played again at Camden High. You know, so then I went to Rutgers Camden, where I was a 4-year starter. And I learned a lot under there. I had Billy Culbertson as my freshman coach. You know, really good guy. You can tell he was more of a talented basketball player instead of a coach. You know, so I learned a lot of individual tactics from him. But then I had Brian Westhuizen, who I use a lot of things that he taught me to this day. Still to this day, one of the smartest guys I ever met. All right, we didn't win a lot of games because I was a 6'2" center in college. So you think about that, going against 6'8" dudes every night. So we didn't win a lot of games, but I learned a whole bunch of things in them 4 years and that experience. And then that transitioned to kind of where I'm at now, you know, so yeah. So
what are you doing now?
I'm a mentor, man. I'm a mentor I just happen to be on the sidelines with a suit and tie coaching basketball. That's how I look at it. I currently coach at West Tech, and I run an AAU program by the name of Camden Elite. You know, so how I stumbled upon this, I still kind of have no clue to this day. You know, but I look at all the instances, the Camden High things that I went through, the college things that I went through, trying to figure myself out after I graduated from college. And this kind of just, at like 26-year-old, it just came to me, you know, and I just been taking it and running it with it ever since, you know. So I'm a basketball coach. I'm a mentor. I'm a father figure, you know, to a lot of kids. And I take that very seriously.
Listen, I understand that. I understand that completely, man. So how long you been coaching? Like, and where have you coached so far? Other than West Tech?
I'm 34 since yesterday, 34 years old.
Happy birthday to the boy too, man.
I appreciate it. So this is going on 8 years. Started at Pennsauken at 26. Very miserable experience for me, but it was it was a lot of learning lessons on what not to do. All right. So as if anybody that's watching this, any coaches and things like that, don't appreciate the times where your team suck and you got really bad leadership. Appreciate those times because it shows you all the things not to do when you get your own team. That's a little side caveat. But started at Pennsauken. I think I was there for 2 or 3 years. I'm not sure. It was such a bad time. I think I was there for 2 or 3 years. Transitioned to West Tech in Burlington, New Jersey for the last 5 years. And this experience has been incredible for me. It's been incredible for me. I never knew Burlington County had this much talent. Again, growing up in Camden, you don't really care about what's around you and things like that. I'm from Camden, bro. It's like this dude that you lining up against me ain't gonna be better than me. And if he is better than me, he don't want it more than me. You know, so that's how we viewed the whole world, right? But coming to Burlington, all we knew was Willingboro. So we thinking that, all right, Willingboro got all the players, but it's such a, first of all, it's such a big county, all right? It's the biggest county in New Jersey. And there's so much talent here, so much talent. I learned so much in these past 5 years from the kids, from the community. It's just been a blessing. It's just been a blessing. And that's where I've been the past, I think it's going on 6 years. That's where I've been the past 6 years. You know, that was starting my AAU program. That's pretty much my life, you know, the past 6 years. And I can't complain about it, not one bit. You know, love every second of it, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So I know you have a great passion for basketball, even greater passion for teaching the game of basketball to the youth. Where did you get the passion from?
Again, that's a good question. I mean, well, to be quite honest, and people might take this the wrong way, like again, things would just happen to me. From the basketball standpoint, things was just happening to me growing up. It was like, I remember I was like 16 years old and like on the football team for Camden High, coaches would pick me out to answer a question. And I didn't understand why it was doing this to me at the time. And I always got the right answer and nobody else knew the answer. And I didn't even know how I knew the answer, you know, but I think people always saw these things in me, right? So things like that kept happening to me growing up. Right? Like, I don't even know how I can do this. Right? So it started like marinating in my head. Well, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? So I started working at it and I started getting better at it. And I'm like, you mix work ethic with just talent. It's a scary thing. Right? So I started seeing like, whoa, wow, I could really do this. Right? So that was one component of it. And the other component of it is like, I just seen kids just getting set up for failure from adults, like from coaches and from mentors and youth coaches and things like that. And it was like, I knew how I was brought up. This is a perfect example of it. I knew how I was brought up. I didn't get taught much as far as sports. Me, my friends, everybody in the city that I saw and my generation, we were just naturally good, right? And we were kind of intelligent, but we was playing out there by ourselves. It wasn't no head coach. You know, we thought they knew the right answer because they were older. You know, they had a mustache and a bald head and things like that. And we was like, this must be right, right? Because they telling us it's right. But we knew in our heart it was wrong. And now we look back at it like no one taught us anything, you know? So I knew growing up, like, I'm not doing that to the next generation, man. Like, high school for most people, college and NBA, the NFL, that's not for most of the world. This is going to be the best time of your life, right? And I want to give kids the best experience, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? I want to get them the best experience. And when kids come back and they say they appreciative of what happened, or they 28 and they married with kids with a career and things like that, that far outweighs any negative thing that happened, you know. So that brings me like the most joy, right? And once you feel that from a kid, once a kid trusts you, you know, with their life and with, you know, whatever, it's no better feeling in the world. Any real educator out there that cares, any real mentor that cares, you get that from a kid and they come up to you and say, thank you for what you did to me. You saved me from this, you saved me from that. It don't get no better than that. And you just want to keep doing that and keep doing that. And if you feel like if you don't do that, then you feel like you failed, right? So yeah, hopefully I answer your question, but
nah, you actually tied into my next question. Actually, I'm gonna skip over a question real quick, because basically you just kind of summed up what made you become a coach.
Right.
I mean, just the passion that you're saying you have, and the passion you do have. Not saying you're saying it because you do have, because I know you personally. So the passion you do have, but at the same time, what made you pick basketball? I mean, there's so many other things going up in the city of Camden that you could have done instead of pick up a basketball and have that change your life.
You talking about playing or coaching?
Playing right now.
Basketball is religion in Camden, bro. It's no other to this day. I be honest, I kind of think that's it's a little weird that that's it, because like I see a lot of grown adults that still like look at it as religion. Like is I'm happy or sad if Camden High wins or lose. I think that's a little creepy, but in the same token, you can appreciate it because it brings people happiness, right? Which they feel like they don't have a lot to look forward to in the city of Camden, right? So when it comes to me, I grew up watching DeJuan Wagner, bro. It's like I grew up watching the best player in the country. That's right. I could walk outside and he's right at the courts. Like him bringing LeBron James to the city and Darius Miles to the city. That was like normal. Like he bringing these people in the heart of Centerville projects. It was like unheard of. Like Jay-Z and Allen Iverson coming to Camden High games. It was like, that was the norm. So it's like you growing up as a little kid, you influenced by your environment. Like you see this big time drug dealer, chances are you want to be that. You see a doctor, chances are you want to be that. We all seen DeJuan Wagner up close in person, put a public school on his back to become the #1 player and the #1 team in the country. It was like, so whether you wanted to, whether you was good or not, it is what it is. That's what you wanted to be. You know, that's what you wanted to be. We didn't see anything else growing up. You know, we don't have lawyers and doctors from where we come from. We got basketball. And we saw, in my age, we saw the epitome of it, right? So, yeah, it was, that's why, man.
I mean, that's real. I mean, that's real. You kind of reflect off what you see in your hood.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Right.
I totally agree with that. So, again, let me go back to the other question again about what made you become a coach. I know you kind of answered it already.
Nah, not really. It's a part of it that I didn't answer. I started getting signs, right? Because I was a criminal justice major. So, law enforcement, right? So I'm taking all these tests, and something always happened when I took the test. It was like either they had to cut a class for funding, I missed the application. Something always was happening, right? So I'm just trying to navigate all these things, and it was like I just had an epiphany, like, no, sit still and just, you got to do what you love. Like I swear at 26 is like God started like talking to me like, stop trying all these things that you're not passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I'm failing at every single thing for dumb stuff too. It's like, how did I miss the application date? Like things like that. And it was like, wait, you ain't supposed to be doing this, right? Anytime I step on that court, this is the best way to summarize it. Anytime I step on that court, any problems that I have, they are vanished. I feel like I can't even put it into words, you know, and I feel like enough of us in this world, we're not looking for that. Like we just looking to get through the day. And I understand like situations and life gets in the way, but man, I don't care about your wife, your husband, your kids. If you're not happy with yourself, man, what you get up and do every day, God bless you, man, because it's gonna be a rough life. It's gonna be a rough life. So to answer your question, I just felt it inside. It felt incredible every time I thought about it. It felt incredible every time I did it, right? And I didn't want to lose that feeling. It's like a drug addict that's getting high, right? You always want to try to get that high. That's how I felt going to do this every day. Anytime I can get up and do it for free, I was like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I'll be forgetting that I get checks. Like, because I'll do it for free, you know? So it was just a feeling, man. It was just a feeling.
That's what's up, man. See, I told you, he's passionate, man. Very passionate dude, man. That's one thing about him that when we first met, it just clicked. I mean, I remember when you was eating lunch, like we worked. Well, let me give you a little history. We worked at West Tech together for about 3 years, and he was there for about maybe 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and he was eating lunch by himself. I walked by the teacher's cab, he was eating lunch by himself, or he was sitting with other staff members. And I'm like, yo. We got a little crew that we have lunch with down in the fashion department. So I was like, yo, Ron, go tell them dude what's up, man. Come hang out with us. So he went, said, introduce himself, told him to come down and have lunch with us. And that was it. That was history.
It took him 2 months though. That's a problem.
We had to fill him out, man.
Took him
We
60 days.
Listen. Let me tell you something.
Hey.
At the B lunch, yo, anything goes. Like, we got to make sure you in. If you're gonna be in, you gotta be on the way, because topics are off the hook. We talk about everything in there. Nothing, and it get heated, but at the end of the day, we walk out the classroom like, yo, I got love for you. So we had to make sure. But yeah, definitely, man. Good dude here, man. I appreciate you coming on. But
appreciate being here, brother.
Again, so you had mentioned earlier that you started an AAU program called Camden Elite.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about your program, man.
Well, the reason I started it is because, in my opinion, the whole landscape of basketball is bad. It's just bad. And I think AAU is the epitome of it, because the fact of the matter is AAU is more important than high school basketball in 2020. That's the fact of the matter. Kids know that you're getting recruited from AAU as compared to high school basketball games. And they know the circuit, the EYBL circuit is the cream of the crop, right? So every kid want to aspire to that. And it's sponsored by Nike. So it's like you got all them things working as one, right? But the problem lies in all these, I don't know what you call them, but all these organizations that feed off of that aspect, right? Because it's only, I think it's like 25 teams that get invited to the EYBL finals, or Peach Jam, I'm sorry. And every organization is telling these kids that that's what we're going to do, or we're going to get you recruited by schools. Right? And that's not happening. And on top of that, they're not teaching kids anything. Like, for example, the year before I started Camden Elite, I was coaching at an organization. I'm not going to name their name, but all I saw was zone. And I think I was coaching like 7th graders. I seen every team that played us in zone, right? And we were getting our face pushed in, right? I didn't mind it because I'm teaching kids the principles of man-to-man. Because they got to go play in high school, right? If they lose in middle school, that was okay to me personally, because I'm trying to prepare them for high school. But I'm going against all these sucker coaches, and they are ecstatic that they beating us by 50 points, playing us in zone with 5 athletes on the court. And I'm like, what? You excited about that? And that's when it dawned on me, like, no, something has to change. Something has to change. Not only are these kids not getting recruited by colleges, because they're not. The majority of the world Kentucky isn't coming to the majority of AAU tournaments. That's a fact. They're only going to a couple, right? Because that's another thing. Colleges found out that, economically it's more economically friendly for them to just go to 6 tournaments with a whole bunch of players. It saves on money. So, but these AAU programs ain't telling you that, so that pissed me off so much. You're making me lose track of even your question. So I started because basketball is basically bad. It's bad, and it starts with AAU. People are not teaching these kids the proper way to play basketball. It's just about me, the coach, and coaches are going to do whatever they want to do to win. All right, and there's nothing wrong with winning. Me and this guy right here is the most competitive people you'll ever see, but it has to be a balance. You got to prepare these kids. What's going to happen is they're going to go to the next phase and be like, what the heck is this? Right? Coach, you didn't prepare me for this. Right? Same thing happened with me in high school. I played AAU and I played right next to J.R. Smith. And I seen what real basketball was. Right? I'm thinking that I come from Camden. It's nothing better than a Camden player or nothing. Right? I watched J.R. Smith play while I was playing in the game. Like, we're right next to each other, and this guy is shooting from half court, and he's catching alley-oops from half court. I'm like, this is a whole nother talent base that I've never witnessed in my life, but nobody ever taught me that. You know, so it's the same thing going on with nowadays. I just don't want to set these kids up for failure, and that's what's happening in the majority of these AAU programs, which is why we started, right? We want to prepare these kids for everything as much as we can on the court that they need to know about basketball, and as well as preparing them for life. That's another thing. I don't know how Tillery feels, but I don't agree with how the school system is. You know, like you're not learning things to help you be a better man in life. It's not happening, right? Part of it is a waste of time, right? So I knew with starting the AAU program, I can teach skills that will equate to real life goals. Right off the court. I don't have to worry about when this period is over in 45 minutes that we got to go. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow mandates of an administration, right? I could teach about stocks and tying a tie and business and stock and things that really matter. You know, opening a bank account. I know people 30 years old that don't have a bank account. It's insane, right? We can do all that at our program, you know? So, again, I could go on and on about the program, but yeah, we just want to make people better, man. Make kids better and prepare them as much as possible. You know, like we didn't have for us growing up.
Well, I mean, actually, you could keep going, because the next question was, I mean, what makes your program so unique, and what why do you feel those components was necessary? I know you said like tying a tie and
I can answer
teaching
that.
business and stuff like that. So
I can answer that now.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's not many people that's better at us than coaching basketball. And I can say that with confidence. You could call it arrogant, but I can say that with confidence. There's not many people that can do what we could do.
Talk about us.
Yeah.
He's talking about us. Because I'm part of Camden Elite too.
That's a fact though. You know, now I'll put our coaching staff against anybody. And so and two, we're not trying to rate people as far as prices. You know, the average AAU cost ranges between $750 to $1,500 a year, and usually a year is between March to June. You know, a couple 3-4 months. $750 to $1,500 a year. We don't even charge that, right? So you getting the best coaching along with a cheaper rate. Why? Because we understand that it's a business. Don't get it wrong. We understand it's a business, but it's way more important about changing these lives and preparing these kids for the right thing, right? And three is, looping back to what I already said, we really mean it when we want to teach life skills. You know, we really want to raise these kids to the best of our abilities and prepare them for life after 18, because life after 18 ain't sweet, man. It's not sweet, you know, and if you go into this world, you know, not knowing, you're going to get chewed up. You're going to get chewed up. And it's fortunate that guys like me and Tillery didn't, you know, and we can give back and tell you what not to do that nobody taught us. Like, I don't think people talk about that enough. Like us not having the tools and having to figure, like when Jay-Z said that line, like, we all screwed because we never had the tools. That's some heavy stuff, man. Like, imagine just getting dropped from the earth and like, you got to figure it out. You know, that's how it is for people that come from where we come from. Till came from New York. I come from Camden. That's how it is for people like us, man. That's messed up, yo. That's messed up, you know. And it's a lot of people just letting these kids do the same thing, right? You gotta figure it out, or just let me use you for my selfish whatever and throw you away, because that's in essence what's happening. Once you're gone, you're gone. I don't need to talk to you no more or whatever like that.
On to the next one, yep.
On to the next one. right? We not having that. We want to build a community, you know, forever. You know, kids win, we win. Period.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, listen, man, I really want to thank you for coming on and being a part of the show today, man. Again, y'all see what I'm talking about. His passion, man, his heart. It's a good dude right here, man. So I just want to, again, thank you for coming on the show,
Listen,
man.
listen, I don't like, a foundation is everything, man. A foundation is everything. And I don't put myself around people that's not, you know, that don't really genuinely care, you know, and workers, man. And Alex is the epitome of that, you know. He care, he come to work, he's a straight shooter. You know, I think a lot of people need to be more like that in order to get results, even with this George Floyd thing that's going on and racism and things like that. Like, a lot of people still don't want to have the conversation. Let's have a conversation, man. We don't have to agree, bro. As long as the respect factor is there, you know, we can move on and we can all grow and learn each other or whatever like that. Me, myself, I'm still working on not being a judgmental person. Like, right? I gotta hear, no one knows everybody's story, right? But as long as the respect factor is there, we can grow as people. Me and Tillery don't agree on everything, but you know, the genuine love is there and the respect factor is there and the communication is there. You know, so he said, I'm a good dude. I wouldn't be here if he wasn't a good dude. Right? This interview ain't that important. This is a good guy, you know? So yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on and you know, until next time, bro.
Welcome back. Again, I want to thank Coach Miller for coming through, and I really want to thank him for all the things he's doing in the community. It's very important that we invest in our youth. I mean, people took their time out when I was young to invest in me, and that was big to me. I mean, I look at myself now, years later. You know, my wife and I started a LLC. We started a business, basically, and it's called Hope, and it's called Helping Others Pursue Excellence. And you know, that's what we strive to do each and every day. We try our best to help people pursue their excellence. And I just think about the people that took their time to invest in me, and how they showed me the way to give back. I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, we all have the ability, we all are obligated to do that. I mean, just think, somebody invested in you, and it wasn't just your parents or a family member. I mean, it was somebody in your community, a teacher, a neighbor that you looked up to, somebody that, you know, gave you some type of advice that you probably didn't listen to at that time, but now, you know, you think back like, wow, I remember what so-and-so said to me, and, you know, they knew what they was talking about. So it's things like that, man. We just need to continue to give back. Just like my shirt right here says, let's hope. And the hope on my shirt stands for help our people elevate. And that's what we all need to do. With all this crazy stuff going on right now with the police brutality and, you know, the racism and everything like that, we all got to get together and let's hope. Rocking out with us today. If you like what you hear, please like, follow, and subscribe to our upcoming events or upcoming episodes. And before I sign off, I want to leave you with some lyrics from Nasir Jones, aka Nas. And it says, all I need is one life, one try, one breath, I'm one man. What I stand for speaks for itself. They don't understand. Until next time, people.